Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Coffee with Coaches podcast. I am your host, Kevin, and today I have Janet Martin with me. Janet is an organizational leadership mentor and speaker, working with teams to amplify their communication and connection skills to break down barriers that stall success. She's a leadership expert who delivers high-energy keynote presentations that inspire audiences and challenges them to adapt to change, growth, and learn how to give value to grow others. Modest goals, modest ambitions. Janet, thank you for being on the podcast.
I'm really good. I sound marvelous.
The truth always sounds pretty good, honestly.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be with you and talking about the lifelong dream of coaching and mentoring and speaking.
The dream becoming a reality. That's what we like to talk about.
Yes, the climb to the top.
Let's start with the origin of your dream. What, first of all, prompted you to maybe realize or discover that you were a coach or wanted to be a coach? And then also what prompted you to start your own coaching practice?
Wow, there's so many little elements and little stories throughout my life. Let's start with kind of the motivational speaker, inspirational speaker kind of thing. Back in high school, when we would have speakers come in and talk about, their somebody was in a drunk driving accident and how they overcame that, or, veteran and how they went overseas and, told their story about how they made it back alive, and all the cool things that happened in between that maybe shouldn't have happened. And, just always I love those inspiring stories and that anything is possible. And there is that silver lining. And I've just always been a person who wants to make people laugh and makes people. I can't even talk today. I'm talked out today, but I really love motivating people. I've used to teach group fitness. I love making people laugh and work out, knowing that they were doing something good for themselves and then hopefully paying it forward. So that's kind of just who I am. And I actually had, Tony Robbins, of course, is a huge inspiration. And then John Maxwell, he golly, it's just such positive energy coming from these people and just uplifting people. And that's where I decided, hey, you know what? I want to give more. I want to do more. I want to, pay it forward as much as I can. And apparently also through my life, I've had a lot of friends that thought I was their therapist. I'd say, no, that's not how this works. Just because I go to therapy doesn't mean that I know what I'm doing for you. It's but always just been able to even have strangers just stop at a store and just start talking to me about something that they would not talk to their closest person to, about. And so I figured I've got something going on. That's good. Not therapy. So I rather be a coach and a mentor, something where I can learn something and pay it forward. So hopefully you can either grow from it or avoid it. And so here I am.
It's lovely. I really appreciate that distinction too, because I feel like a lot of people have trouble defining for themselves what coaching looks like in general, but also specifically to them. And I think it's important to understand that there's different roles for coaches and mentors and therapists, and that there are different strengths that apply to different circumstances. And I feel like I really appreciate that you make that distinction for yourself and for your clients and your friends who tried to rope you into being their quote unquote therapist.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't want to talk to a stranger. I'll talk to you about it. It's no. That's not how this works. It's no. And because as far as therapy is stuff that has happened to you in the past. However, it does have a little aspect of it, when you are coaching somebody, because you have to get that person to recognize why they're thinking the way that they're thinking, that's stalling their growth. But you don't need a deep dive into it. That's when you say, you might want to seek therapy, or maybe you want to read this book, or maybe this book would be a good one for you to kind of tap into some things to make you maybe, be able to see where this thought process is stemming from. But as a coach, you are trying to do something where you're problem solving and you're moving forward, not rewinding the tape and going, okay, so what happened when you were 5? It may have something to do with it again, but as a coach, we are there for now and moving forward. And and then as a mentor, I like sharing the things that, because I've worked for different organizations and been part of different companies and have seen some really crazy things going on as far as teamwork, collaboration, lack of communication, and a lot of times you can grow by sharing those stories, and then also sharing like what you did to solve that problem, because somebody else in that group, in that mastermind type group or training team, whether it's for an organization or corporation, they're going to go, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Instead of saying, well, this is what leadership is, and this is how you do this, because that doesn't give them any ideas of how to problem solve, or give them any ideas to go, I'm going to try that. So I really like mentoring too, because you can give them some tools and some inspiration, and then say, okay, go try it, and then see how it unfolds, and then come back and then share it with us and see what worked and what didn't work, and then why, and continue to grow from there. And
I love that. I have so many, you've inspired so many things I want to say, but I want to make sure we stay on track. We talked a little bit about how easily this conversation could go for hours.
Yes.
And you've already been pretty much talking about it, but let's talk a little bit about the nuts and bolts of your coaching business. You seem like you do a little bit of everything, but maybe talk about your one-to-one coaching, your mentorship, your group or masterminds, and your speaking, your keynote speaking.
Okay. So they all, I call myself an educational speaker. I talk with my hands, but I've tried not to, and it's very difficult. But I know people listening to the podcast can't see me move my hands, but so when I do my speaking on leadership, it's a lot about connecting and how leadership isn't just about a job title, because obviously there are people that get promoted all the time because of their skill set for what they know as far as their duties and their job. They're not all of a sudden given this magic wand and they have all these great leadership and communication skills. And it's not just about how my speaking isn't just about how you communicate at work, but it's also how you communicate at home and with friends, or maybe you're not communicating, maybe you're not connecting like you thought you were. But just always able to give something more. I like to make people laugh, and of course feel, whether they feel, oh my gosh, I like to give them the feels. And for one-to-one coaching, I feel like that's something that I've been trying to avoid for some odd reason, but I feel like in the last few weeks that I've kind of done a deeper dive into it, that maybe I do need to do more one-to-one coaching. I think I offer that more for free than I do for, but as far as not so much one-to-one coaching, I do vision board. We talk about the vision board groups. I do facilitate those, and I've facilitated them for just, public interest. So individuals can bring their friends in, or, maybe another family member. I have held one for a company that actually allowed their clients come in as well. And I love that kind of coaching, because again, that's not just for, your career. That's for, stuff that you want for your family, stuff that you want for yourself, whether it's spiritually or for travel or hobbies or anything else that you want to do. It just gives you literally the visual and that time to be creative, because I think a lot of us, when we get older, we stop being creative and we start having that tunnel vision. And we do that in our job, we do that at home, we do that pretty much in all aspects of our lives. And then we're like, well, I wish I could do that. Well, you can. You just need to write some goals down. And I know that from experience of doing vision boards, and also, writing down goals and putting them where you can see them on a daily basis, it keeps it in your head. I think that's a huge thing that we forget about at work. We forget about it, again, in our daily lives. So I love facilitating vision boards, and I'm actually working on putting one online to do one to do one online and then making it available for future purchase where I can be available, but you're going to have all the nooks and crannies and stuff filled in for me doing the Zoom calls and stuff. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah.
That's so great. Yeah. I like the combination of, well, first of all, let me start with, a lot of people they'll start out thinking like they'll find themselves in this place and they'll think of this change they want to make in their life as an act of will, that they have to like just bear down and decide every day. And like, yes, you need that determination, but you also need some skills. There are some techniques that will really, really help you. It's like, you don't have to assemble the house by hand and hammer in the nails with your fist. We have hammers, we have screwdrivers. There are tools for the life you want to build. And the accountability aspect too, I really like that, because it's the equipment and the facilitation of the skill acquisition and kind of reminding you that, yes, you could do this. And then also it's like, hey, I can see what you're doing. I see your board. I see what you've put out there. I see the intentions that you've articulated. How are those going? Mm-hmm.
And how are we going to get to that goal?
Yes.
There's a lot of great reading. People are like, I don't like to read. People, and the whole thing with coaches too. Get it. In order to, like, I realize I need a coach for things in my life to keep me accountable, to keep me on my game. And, and I'm a do-it-yourselfer. I'm like, I got to do everything myself. And I don't know if it's a control issue or if it's not being able to rely on people issue, because we did talk about that a little bit before we started this podcast. But you can't do everything yourself. You cannot be the cook, the host, the bottle washer, and all that. You cannot do it and expect to succeed in a good amount of time. Reach out to people that have expertise, even though you have knowledge in that. What is your main goal? Focus on that and get somebody to help you. Reach out. It's worth it. It is so worth it. And that's what coaching is about. I mean, I can't say like, oh, well, hire me to help your organization and your nonprofits or whatever to communicate better and to connect better and to grow, be able to increase productivity, et cetera, and then me not, like respond to your email because I'm too busy with, it's like,
oh yeah.
Yes, you may be marvelous and you may be multi-talented, but get some help with those things so you can stay focused on your goals. Because a lot of times what happens is you are trying to balance with each hand and the top of your head and then the right foot and then the knee, and what happens? You fall over. And people are probably going, yeah, that's what happens. That's why I haven't been able to do this and this and this and this, right? So I'm the person who's like taking the plate off of your hand and moving it and going, okay, give this to Joe. Give this one to Kevin. Let him and his team do their magic and help you out so you can focus on your coaching, or you can focus on your music, or you can focus on learning how to jump out of a plane and, parachute, or whatever it is that you want to do, or making money. Make money.
Love the message, that we can't do it alone, nor should we really try unless we want to end up, covered in shards of plates and bowls as we try to balance everything. I have this mental image now that perfectly encapsulates it. And to remember to reach out for help, which, and of course, I want to make sure that you tell everybody, our listeners, how can they reach out to you if they want to find out more about your coaching, if they want to enlist your help with some part of their present and future success? Where do you like to be found? Social media, website, like where can people find you and talk with you?
Well, I am on LinkedIn under Janet R. Martin, and aspire to inspire, because I think everybody should be paying it forward and aspiring to inspire others. And my website is JRM, so easy, my initials, sources at, jrmsources.com. Yeah. I'm trying to give you my email and then my email is janet@jrmsources.com. So you're more than welcome to reach out to me, ask me questions if you need some input and advice. I'm not your therapist. I would love to be your coach and your mentor. If your company if you feel like your the productivity, or you're having problems with a lot of employee turnover, let's just have a chat. Let's have a chat about it and see if there's something that I can do and sprinkle some magic on your team.
In my head, I have Salt Bay now, just sprinkling some magic on the team. But that's a whole different podcast. Janet, thank you so much for being with us today. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad we got to do this.
Yeah, me too. And to the audience out there, I hope you really enjoyed this. In fact, I'm confident you did. And we'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you.